But I experienced all these people around me that really hit serious rock bottoms, including yourself, because I know your story. They actually learned something from it, and it made them happier. I mean, let me summarize your story. I met Robin 11 years ago in Japan by accident, and this is the second time we meet each other, so it's really nice. Robin had cancer, and he decided, I remember about everything, but correct me if I'm wrong, you had 50,000 pounds,
Yeah.
and you said, all right, from now on, I'm only going to do what I like. I'm getting serious chills now, by the way, so this is good. And you started traveling the world, and from doing what you like, your cancer just resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no chemotherapy or
No chemo,
no.
just radio.
And now Robin is an inspirational speaker, traveling all over the world, speaking for 5,000 people, you know, traveling all over the world. You need to be in the mud hole to crawl out. I mean, if you are always helped, you know, some people that have everything in life is just perfect. Rich parents, clever, they look beautiful. They are often the least happy. You know, and models have the most insecurity about their looks. You know, why is this? Because the more you experience and the more you call out yourself, the better your life will be. You know, if you do it yourself, it's real. This is what I tell my children also. You have your own path, you know, from when you can speak. And now they're 15, 13 and 11 and it's 9 o'clock in the evening and say, okay, go to bed. And the three of them go like, I don't think so, because I have my own path. Yeah, straight to bed. I don't think so. So, does this answer your question?
It does, no, it does.
Yeah?
No, it does.
Have fun. You mean a lager beer and then 5 of them? And then you mean like drinking alcohol? Or?
Personally, I think I'm referring to it as you're looking for something outside of yourself
Yes.
to fulfill something.
Yes.
So, just the definition of fun, or what a friend just said, that I'm going to do what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not pointing at I'm going to get something elsewhere.
Well, there's a difference. If you seek for the short-term enjoyment, you know, you end up with drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and whatever. Complaining too, by the way, is an addiction. Long-term fun, according to me, and I think that's, you know, actually I think that spirituality and the mystic world, I make a distinction between the two. Spirituality is seeking on the inside, you know, and this is about following your intuition, your gut feeling, your heart. Seeking guidance from the outside, either be it, you know, alcohol, drugs, or crystals. You know, I mean, personally, I love crystals. I truly love them. But if I would go out of the house and I forgot my crystal necklace and I would panic completely, you know, it's time to look inside again. So the mystical world is great. I will, you know, promise to myself, I don't promise to anybody else, but promise to myself, I will study the mystical world for the rest of my life. I love it. It's really interesting. But in a way, it's seeking guidance from the outside, you know? Oh, I forgot to call on my angels today. Oh, damn. You know, I'm gonna get nowhere. True joy is from following your intuition, and it brings a long-term joy. And short-term joy, it's fine, you know. I think it's fine to drink a coffee or to have a beer or to complain once in a while or smoke a cigarette, you know. I think it's all fine. But as soon as it becomes a craving or an addiction, it's no long-term joy anymore. And long-term joy is created by making intuitive, from the heart decisions. And I mean with that, using more than our 5 senses. You know, so I don't know why, but I know it's right. So this is intuition for me. So
Mindset about something like missing somebody or thinking about that you love them, or if somebody's lost their lives, you know, suddenly that's also, I'm trying to figure out how to change perspective on that. Somebody who's really young.
yeah. Well, it's you know, first of all, to let go is about crying your eyes out. And if granddaddy dies, and especially if somebody's young, I mean, I cry so much you don't want to know. You know, I cry for joy, but also for pain. And this is, you know, a child cries easily. If you cry easily, you can laugh easily. But my answer to that would be, you grieve for people that died because you love life so much. Now, often, my example in the train in Japan, I was missing my children. I was kind of stuck. And then when I realized I love them, my tears started flowing. And this is interesting, that if you turn around your perspective, you start to release your stuff. So if you grieve over somebody who died, and you really realize that this is because you love life. You know, so in honor to the person who died, you better make something out of your own life. You know, stop being afraid and start acting and doing stuff. But by realizing, you know, I grieve over granddaddy. I think granddaddy is a nice example because we all experience that. Probably. If you grieve over somebody who dies, it means that you not only love that person, but you love life. And if you do that, you're probably, your tears will start flowing because you take a different perspective. It's like yin and yang. You're in this side, and you take this energy from the other side, and then everything starts flowing, and boom, and there you go. Which is a very nice and good thing. I believe crying is like laughing. You know, it's just energy releasing. So that would be my answer, you know, you grieve over dead people because you love life. I was literally switched on, turned on, I'm not sure how to say it. I went to a spoken word gig, and a spoken word is something like rap without the music, so you know, something like that. And this guy, his name is Yunam. He gave this performance, and I had a 3-minute chill in my body, you know, and I didn't know what it meant, but it just felt so good. The next morning, I sat down in my backyard, and I wrote my first thought. I call it my first thought. This was the 20th of December 2008, on a Saturday, and since then I've been writing. Then, in the end of 2010, it was time to leave the financial world. You know, I almost burned out basically, so it was really time to go. And also, by the way, I got kicked out at the same time, but I wanted to go, so it did help me make the jump, you know, kind of. And then for 1 week, I said to everybody around me, I'm not going to do anything for 3 months. Nothing, you know, nothing. And then after 1 week, I thought, like, it might be nice to make a book. And then 6 weeks later, my book, I had a friend, she loved my stuff. I had a blog, and 20 people were on it, and always when I sent something out, I got a text from her, like, I love it what you write. And she's a designer, she never designed a book. Doreen Franken is her name. And we got together, and she basically designed this book, and 6 weeks later it was printed in the shop the day before Christmas, just before Christmas. I had a website that was like this super flow. So this was self-published. This is what you get, you know, when you make intuitive decisions, you get super flow. It was first self-published, and 2 years later I got into contact via my agent with Hay House, and they took me on board. And really very special because I didn't have, you know, like a massive email list yet, you know, it was just a guy from Amsterdam who wrote the book. And they loved my book.
The book was originally in English or Dutch?
Yeah, or no, I write in English normally, 70% is English. It is also written straight from above, straight from my intuition, I would want to say. You know, so it's also a disclaimer, you know, if you like the book, it's my intuition talking to your intuition. If you don't like the book, it's your mind obstructing your intuition, because it's written from my intuition. Now, so most of it is in English. It's, I don't know why, you know, this is... So then Hay House came into the picture, and it was republished by Hay House, almost not changed. I had only one thing in this one. I will read this to you. Walk in my shoes for a month, before you tell me what you think. Be in sync before you label me and put your unwritten rules all over me. Just walk in my shoes before you judge me. Well, in the self-published version, the last sentence was, just walk in my shoes before you do me. And I knew somewhere vaguely this might be sexual, but now, you know, you understand what I mean, right? This is the artist in me that you know, that can express himself freely. But hey, I said like, well, we're not sure, so we're changing this. You know, so, but it was almost not changed, almost not edited. So this is basically what I made about 3 years ago, and now it's published in English and in Dutch and in French. Since a month ago, I got the French copy in my mail, and I'm talking to a Japanese. Next time I go to Japan, I will talk to a Japanese publisher too. Doesn't mean anything, you know. I just love this flow, and I would love this book and all my other books to be spread all over the world. You know, I've also one book. It's called The Art of Zen Investing. It will be actually a written book and not a quote book like this one, and not a gift item. The Art of Zen Investing is, in one sentence, you have a higher goal than making money. Yeah, I believe that all the problems in the world come from egoistic behavior. And egoistic behavior shows in putting money first. So if you have a higher goal than making money, you're being altruistic and you're enlightening the world. And this is so simple. You know, you can be a hairdresser who loves to cut hair. You're enlightening the world because you have a higher goal than making money. And this is one of my new books that I'm already writing about and blogging about. There's actually a free email course on my website, which is timvandervliet.com, by the way. Yeah, so I like what I do. I hope I could show you that also. All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Anything else? Oh.
I had a big life change, and I took my sons with me, and they were very supportive. But it put them through some pain,
Yeah.
without doubt. And then they grew to meet the new situation, and I'm even more proud of them.
Cool.
But I just wondered how it was with your children, and if you have any words about that, because one doesn't, the people one loves, one doesn't. Oh, I didn't want to put my children through the pain. I just had a lot of life things that happened that caused a big change, and that's not what I wanted for my children. Because of course we want the children not to have pain, but unfortunately they will have pain.
Yeah, but this is one of the hiccups from a parent. You know, you don't want your children to have pain.
But it's very
But you
rude
cannot
to deny
protect
it.
them from. You cannot, you know, prevent. How do you say this? Prevent them from having pain. It's impossible. So yeah, they will be in pain at some point in their life. You know, I mean, I was 11 when my father died, and big pain. But when I was 15, I grew over it. I said to my mother, you know, I'm actually happy he died 4 years ago, not now, because I know we're doing good. My mother is like, you're weird, man. And I was like, no, but I really mean it. This pain, you cannot prevent pain, and not with your children either. And instead of that, you could just help them, you know, when, not if, but when they are in pain, because for sure it will happen. And if you release this idea also, you know, you turn around this thought pattern, and okay, I'm a parent, but you know, we all want to protect our children, but at a certain moment they will have their own life, you know, you have to let them go. And if you cling on to them, you know, like, oh, you know, this is a typical parent, you know, that's calling her 30-year-old daughter or son, do you eat your vegetables? It really doesn't work. And if you wouldn't do it, your child would come to you when they're in pain. If you're always worrying, you know, I have a beautiful mother, but sometimes she's worrying too much. I don't tell her everything because she worries too much. I mean, if she would worry less and show that to me, I would tell her more. So if you turn this around, you'd be a better parent, more relaxed parent.
You're respectful of the individual, but how was it for your children when you had this big change? When you know, these roller coasters that you're talking about. How did they cope?
And they were, and this was about 10 years ago, so they were really young. They were 1, 3, and 5 that don't remember.
Ah, so it was not
Yeah.
too bad. You could hold them.
No, but in my life are also disruptive changes, and they experience their own stuff. You know, the only thing I can do is leave them have their own path and talk about it. You know, if there's ever any, you know, yeah, there's so many examples, but well, my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter had a boyfriend, and then at a certain moment he broke up, and she was in pain. What can you do? Just hug her. Then 1 month later, they got together again, and I of course asked them, you know, like, so what do you do? You know, are you holding hands together? You know, Daddy, come on, don't ask that stuff. Different story. And then 3 months later, she broke up with him. And she's singing the song of Britney Spears all the time. Oops, I did it again. I made you believe we're more than just friends. No, well, what I teach my children, first of all, don't believe everything adults say, you know, because they're not always right. And of course they reply with, so you know nothing. You know, this is for me also a lose the ego, a path of losing the ego. Adults are not always right. Trust your gut. You have your own path. Yeah, so from somewhere 6 years old, a child sees the glass half full or half empty. They make their own decisions. You have your own path. And also I try to teach them that failures don't exist. You know, if you don't try, you will never know. And they're really in their puberty years now, so they're extremely on top of each other. You look like you, your hair is funny, you know, and help me find my outfit. You know, the two girls together. So they're really in this phase where it is very important. But I just hope to explain to them that there's no such thing as failure. You know, just it's the same with skateboarding. If you don't dare to fall, you will never learn how to skateboard. And if they fall with skateboarding or with roller skating, I compliment them. Wow, cool, wow. You know, if you don't fall, you know, it's no fun, you know, if something doesn't go wrong.